On the Hobo road, I roll alone.
Welcome back, my ration-hauling road scholars of ruin, my barcode-battered believers in breakfast, my benefit-broken brothers of the breadline. Hobo Yeti here behind the Winco loading dock where the stale bread meets the busted pallets, watching the world debate whether we get to eat this month. The forklifts hum like hungry stomachs, and every beep sounds like a countdown to insufficient funds. Snap's turned into a game show now. One spin of the bureaucratic wheel decides if dinner's happening, also known as SNAPocalypse. And just like that, survival's on sale again. Limited time while supplies last. So here's the deal. A few days ago, the courts ordered full or partial SNAP payments for November, and many of us got them. Then last night, Trump's USDA said nah and told states to undo the payments. Who knows why he's fighting it? Maybe he's allergic to people eating. Wisconsin, Kansas, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and North Carolina said they're not taking the EBT funds back because people need them. And since this channel is based out of the Pacific Northwest, it's worth knowing that Oregon and Washington have hit pause while they wait for guidance from the same folks who caused the mess in the first place. Classic. Technically, they're not supposed to take money off your card once it's been issued, but the Trump crowd's never been big on rules that help the poor. Food pantries are already overloaded, and even though more people are donating to help, they're still running low on groceries, so don't count on them to fill the gap if things freeze up again. If your EBT's loaded, I'd say spend it now. Stock up on whatever you can. Canned ravioli, fruit cocktail, tuna, Spam, canned chicken, Chef Boyardee, rice packets, peanut butter, crackers, soup, instant potatoes, water, anything that lasts and doesn't need a stove. Hide it if you have to. The name of the game right now is staying 2 steps ahead of chaos. I usually buy food a day at a time, but this month's different. Get what you can while the card still works. We've seen how fast policy can change when the people making the rules don't have to live by them. Anyway, while the politicians keep arguing about whether we deserve to eat, we've still got to keep surviving. So, let's switch gears a bit, because food's only one part of it. If you're out here trying to stretch what little you've got, I've got some homeless tips and tricks that might just save you a headache or a night of bad luck. Let's get into that.
On the Hobo road, I roll alone. Stars above it are
Welcome back, my wrinkle-wielding wanderers of will, my pension-pending prophets of perseverance, my silver-spined sages of survival. Hobo Yeti here, somewhere between a creaky knee and a public bench philosophy degree. Getting older on the streets isn't an afterthought. It's a masterclass in stubborn anatomy. The young think resilience means gym memberships and green smoothies. We know it means duct tape, Epsom salt, and refusing to die politely. Every joint is an autobiography, every workaround a rebellion. So tonight we'll talk about staying alive when gravity's winning and the government's betting against you. Not inspiration porn, just the comedy of endurance, starring you, the undefeated. Let's get into it before another muscle forgets its job. 1. Use the store scooters. Forget pride. Pride's the muscle you tear when you refuse help. Those electric carts at Walmart aren't mobility aids. They're thrones for the chronically unappreciated. You glide past teenage clerks who pretend not to see you while you do a drive-by through the clearance aisle. Think of it as your chariot of middle fingers to the youth who believe invincibility lasts forever. You've earned that seat. Every scar on your leg's a receipt. If anyone side-eyes you, smile and say you're testing for NASCAR recruitment, they'll back off quick. The truth is, out here, every shortcut is sacred, and the battery on those scooters lasts longer than most people's patience for the poor. 2. The hoodie pillow trick. Your joints don't care how much character you've built. Nights get long, knees knock, and the ground becomes a chiropractor with bad reviews. Roll up your hoodie, jam it between your legs, and save your bones from trying to start a percussion band. Forget fancy gear. This is field medicine for the broke but still breathing crowd. You don't need memory foam when you've got muscle memory for pain. It's about small comforts in a big, uncaring system. The hoodie trick says, I refuse to suffer quietly. And honestly, it beats crying into your tarp again. Remember, you're not spoiled for wanting comfort. You're strategic for finding it where no one thought to look. 3. The magnifying glass hustle. Eyes go before hope does, but not by much. Get yourself a magnifying glass, not the kind detectives use, just a cheap one that helps you read microwave safe and do not eat this silica gel. It's not vanity, it's survival. Medication labels, phone settings, tiny fine print on bureaucratic nonsense, all easier to face when you're not squinting like Clint Eastwood in a sandstorm. Once I used mine to catch a sunbeam and light a smoke when my lighter died. Felt like Benjamin Franklin on break. Vision is power, even if it's plastic lensed and dollar store bought. Clarity's rebellion in a world designed to blur you out. Fourth knife on the belt. You're not auditioning for Rambo, you're advertising deterrence. A knife isn't just for cutting rope, it's for cutting assumptions. People think twice about hassling an old man who looks like he might gut a fish or a fascist. It's also a tool, obviously. Bread, rope, zip ties, and the occasional moral fiber. Clip it where they can see it. Civilization's polite until it isn't, and that little blade says, "Try me, I've already lived through worse." That confidence weighs nothing but earns you distance. Just don't carve your initials into the park bench. Leave that to the teenagers still pretending the world cares who they are. 5. Feet like royalty. Your feet are your last vehicle. Treat them like the luxury sedan you never had. Wash them nightly, even if it's just a wet wipe baptism. Double layer your socks. Thin inner, thick outer. It's not fashion, it's friction insurance. And for the love of circulation, keep a sacred pair of tent socks. Those fuzzy things, stay clean, stay dry, stay holy. Slip them on after wiping down your tired soles, and you'll feel human for at least 5 minutes before the cold remembers your name again. The streets chew through cartilage faster than empathy, so pamper what carries you. Because once your feet give up, every path turns uphill. 6. Transparent meds. Pill bottles rattle like guilt. Ditch the orange clunkers and use Ziplocs. I peel the label of my prescription bottles and put in on my Ziploc, light, unpretentious. Organization is the difference between prepared elder and guy who accidentally took NyQuil instead of blood pressure meds. And keep it clear so you can find what you need before a panic spiral sets in. Paper tags help, your memory won't. And when the medic at the clinic sees you've got your stuff sorted, they'll treat you like a person, not a case file. It's not about being tidy, it's about control in a life designed to strip it away. Every labeled bag says, I might be broke, but I'm not beaten. 7. Sodium after sundown. You pee enough to irrigate a golf course. It's called being seasoned. If you drink high sodium stuff later in the day, ramen broth, broth packets, cheap soups, or any kind of soda, your body holds water longer, buys you a few more hours of uninterrupted oblivion. Hydration balance becomes its own kind of art form. Young people sip Gatorade to look athletic. We sip a V8 to avoid crawling out of the tent 6 times before dawn. There's poetry in that, the kind that smells faintly of dead vegetable flavoring and defiance. Drink your salt, sleep your sleep, and accept that every night's a science experiment in bladder diplomacy. 8. Nap with no apology. You're not lazy, you're rechargeable. Take a nap, even if it's on principle. The sun can judge you later. I've dozed through more self-help lectures than I can count, and I don't regret a minute. Sleep when the world lets you. Nobody out here is timing your productivity. They're too busy pretending your tent isn't visible. A midday nap resets your body and your attitude, keeps bitterness from fermenting into despair. You're homeless, not on probation. Let rest be your protest. Each nap's a raised middle finger to the system that wants you too tired to notice its nonsense. 9. Heat, hacks, and dignity. Hot hands, heated pads. Whatever you can scavenge. They're not luxuries. They're prosthetics for hope. I've wrapped a pair in a sock, strapped them to my knees, and pretended I was back in the womb. Works every time. You can even heat food with them. Gourmet microwave, Hobo edition. When your blood turns slow as molasses, warmth is morale. Plug in that USB blanket when you can. I don't care if it looks ridiculous. Comfort's not a crime, and pretending you don't need it doesn't make you tougher. It just makes you colder. Take the heat, keep your humor. It's cheaper than therapy and far more reliable. 10. Tree leverage and old tricks. Set your camp like a chessboard, not a maze. Have a tree near your tent door, something to pull yourself up with when your knees remind you of your age. It's not weakness, it's engineering. Keep paths clear for the 3 a.m. stumble to your DIY restroom. Label your meds, chain your wallet, plan your exits. These aren't signs of paranoia, they're survival protocols. You learn to predict chaos like a weatherman for misfortune. Age doesn't kill your independence. Pride does. You're not fragile, just efficient. And if a raccoon steals your last snack, let it. He's hungry for a better reason than your expired motivation. So that's the secret. Survival isn't about strength. It's about stubbornness with style. You adapt, you improvise, and when the world forgets your name, you write it on duct tape. Getting old while homeless isn't noble, but it's real. You learn that comfort's a moving target and laughter's still legal. Every ache becomes autobiography. Every workaround a sermon. You are the generation that refuses to vanish quietly, and that makes you dangerous in the best way. Stay clever, stay cranky, and stay alive just to annoy whoever counted you out first. I hope your road is a good one, and if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. And remember, aging's not defeat, it's just an encore nobody stayed for. Peace.